You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings and rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Oh, you don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings and rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Bittersweet and I'm walking slow. Sensitive, feel the afterglow. Looking for things that I can't control. Fear from my past cause it always shows. Do I wanna try? Can I let it go? Running from the past, wanting to be sure. Chaos in my mind, constant deja vu. But every time it comes back to you. Whoa, I'm still falling. Whoa, but it tastes bittersweet. Whoa, I keep on falling. Whoa, I like the taste of it. I'm still
Hello everyone and welcome to the GW5 deadline stream. So good to have you guys in the chat already. Welcome. Let me know how you guys are doing ahead of GW5. What transfers have you guys made? At the moment we are on our wildcard and this is the wildcard draft. We have gone with the wildcard for a couple of reasons which we did previously explain. We did have a fairly weak bench and the defense solidarity wasn't quite there. Let me know of your guys' transfer plans as well so far this week. Bench 1, Duffy or Omobama starting? Good. I'd probably bench Omobama Dele because I don't think Leicester... I'm not too sure Leicester can score past Brighton. Obviously, Leicester, they've had one of the lowest expected goals so far this week, and Norwich's defence isn't the strongest. So I'd probably bench Omobama Dele. The -4 for... Yeah, that's a good call. I definitely think jumping on the Leeds players now could be nice. They've got a great run of fixtures coming up. Raphinha, look at that, from GW4 to 10. Some of the best fixtures in the Prem at the moment, so definitely looking towards those Leeds assets at the minute. Also, the good thing is, it looks like Bamford's price should be going up fairly soon. If you look at Fix, I've got his price going up tomorrow, I believe. It looks like Bamford's already at 122%, so he should be going up fairly soon. Yeah, if not this evening. Alexander-Arnold should be going up as well. Duffy could also go up in price, which is good. Lukaku could go up again. Sanchez and Livramento also players that could go up fairly soon. I took Grealish out for Raphinha. I see Grealish getting a hat-trick now. That's the typical FPL luck that you love to see. I mean, you can't say it's a bad transfer because it's a good move. The Raphinha move in this week is a good transfer. And yeah, you just got to look at all the reasons that you've done it and for that reason, it's a good play. Should I take out Lukaku or Ronaldo to bring in Bamford? I wouldn't take out either Lukaku or Bamford. It's not ideal taking a 4-point hit right after a wild card. But I mean, Raphinha's got great fixtures. Cayenne, love your content, bro. Please, can you give me some tips on wildcard? Sanchez, Shaw, Trent, Rudiger, Marcel, Livramento, Salah, Jota, Raphinha, Gray, Bamford, Ronaldo, Jimenez. Thank you so much for the support, mate. Yeah, that's a really good wildcard team. It's fairly similar to the sort of setup we've got going on here. But yeah, I really rate that wildcard team. It's nice. Can't see anything wrong with that. Obviously, you've gone with Jimenez over Antonio. We've just stuck with Antonio for this week. He's got United at home anyway, which is a difficult fixture. But they're still good after that, and Leeds away, Brentford at home, Everton away. And he also did score in the Europa League as well. So he's still getting goals, which is good to see. How about picking Richarlison to replace Antonio? I think if you're going for an Everton attacker now, maybe Damari Gray's a nice option in midfield. But I think there's probably better options around Richarlison's price. Good afternoon. Who would you captain Salah against Palace backline? Lukaku against a decimated Spurs defence? I'd look to go Salah against Crystal Palace because Salah's got himself 6 goals, 5 assists in 6 games against Palace, which is outrageous. What midfielder for 8 mil? For 8 mil, I'm not too sure. I think Jota at 7.6 now, I believe. Or 7.7. Jota's a nice choice. Also, Greenwood as well could be nice for the future. Hey man, get Bamford or get Lukaku with a -4. I mean, Bamford's probably the better choice in the short term with the fixtures, but Lukaku could still potentially score against Spurs. Man City's a difficult fixture, but then Game Week 7 onwards is tough. You're taking a -4. You probably want to go for a future option, so maybe Lukaku. What is your reasoning with bringing in Sissoko? Does it not worry you that Watford haven't been that good recently? Well, Sissoko could just be any 4.5 midfielder, and the good thing is he's a box-to-box, so he has taken a couple of shots, and he does offer somewhat decent attacking potential, even though we're not going to start him anyway, so there's no fuss around him. He's going to be on the bench every week. Should I keep Benrahma and add Raphinha next week? If it saves you the hit, maybe could be worthwhile. There is potential that Benrahma does play up top if Antonio is out. And United's defence hasn't looked the best recently either, so you could jump ahead of the curve. I think Raphinha could get himself some attacking returns against Newcastle as well. Mane or Salah captain? Oh, Salah's got such a great record against Crystal Palace. I think it's probably worthwhile going Salah. I mean, he's got the penalties as well, and Liverpool did beat Palace 7-0 or something ridiculous last season. Hey bro, would you pick a Man City midfielder? At the moment, not really. They've not got the best fixtures coming up. Southampton at home's nice. Chelsea away, Liverpool away is not great. And, I mean, Ferran Torres is likely to be rotated with Foden and De Bruyne as they were both back in the Champions League. And Grealish, he could potentially get rotated as well in the next couple of weeks. Tim, hi, I'm from NZ. I have Son burning a hole in my team, thinking of replacing him with Sarr. I have Raphinha, Gray, Mo Traore. Yeah, that's not a bad play. I think that's a good one to throw out money. Son is definitely not an ideal option to have. He's very expensive and he's not getting you any points at the minute. So I think, yeah, if you're looking at the mid-price midfielders, then Sarr's a nice choice. You could also go with Jota as well. I think he could get a start in the next 2 matches. Since you've got a lot of minimum price midfielders there, at around that 6 mil mark, it could be worthwhile going up to Jota. Ronaldo and Lukaku are a good shout, or will the rest of the team be too weak? I'm assuming do you mean Mo, Ronaldo and Lukaku? See, I was looking at that and I was discussing that earlier actually with a mate, was to go with Salah, Ronaldo or Lukaku, or just Salah, Ronaldo or Salah, Lukaku. I personally think it takes slightly too much out of the team to go for all three. If you already have a very high team value, then you could probably pull it off. But you have to have a team value of like 100.8 mil plus potentially to pull that off. And you'd still want Trent in the team as well, so you don't want to get rid of Trent. James in for Region. Yeah, could work. I mean, Spurs, they're looking shambolic, aren't they? They're not looking the best. Well, we'll look at Region here. Chelsea at home, you can almost guarantee that's not a clean sheet. Arsenal away is probably not a clean sheet either. Villa at home's okay. Newcastle away, I guess away fixtures aren't the easiest. And then West Ham, Manchester United, Everton. So I'd probably be looking to move on Region. And you've of course got Reece James, who should be good to play as well. Play Region or Allen? I'd still play Region over Allen. Thoughts on Cancelo versus Diaz? Yeah, well, Cancelo's been getting lots of starting minutes recently. Both of them played in the Champions League midweek. I mean, Cancelo, he looks fairly nailed, so I guess Cancelo at the moment could be a slightly better choice. Thoughts on Trent, captain? I mean, he would have been a good captain last week. He got 12 points. There's no reason that he can't do it again. If you're going for a huge differential, then Trent could be a decent shout. If he gets another assist and clean sheet, there is potential there for the double bonus or triple bonus. But I do think Salah will outscore him this week, personally. I think Salah could get a double attacking return potentially this week. I have Sarr, Jota, Gray, Benrahma in my midfield, Ronaldo, Dennis and Aubameyang in attack. Yeah, Aubameyang's an interesting one because he has some very nice underlying numbers in Game Week 4. Obviously, Arsenal played Norwich, and he did get himself a goal, but I do think there is better premium choices than Aubameyang despite his decent underlying stats. And it is risky going with no Salah, but I guess if you back Aubameyang in. How did you do in the UCL Fantasy? Yeah, we did fairly well. We're going to make a video fairly soon to recap Match Day 1. I think we're around 300k in the world, which is decent. We did have Wan-Bissaka in the team, and he got a red card, which is very detrimental to the rank. But I guess 300k is decent for the first week of the season. And the team is lining up fairly strong for Match Day 2 as well. If you guys do want to join our UCL league, then the link is in the description. The code is in the description. Or you could just check out our recent UCL team selection video to get the code there. Who should I swap with? Benrahma? Probably Raphinha, I think, is the best choice if you don't have him already. And then Jota or Sal, or maybe Adama if you back him in to get some returns on the ball. Benrahma and Dyer out for Marcel and Raphinha -4. Yeah, that's a good play. I like that. Rudiger in for Wan-Bissaka. I think it may be worthwhile holding on to the United defenders for the next 3 weeks and then looking to go to the Chelsea defenders. Richarlison is a good option now. I mean, he should be playing in striker now, but I think there is going to be better forwards at 7 mil. Looking at the team here, at this Antonio spot, if we're looking at forwards, we can obviously Antonio, Jesus. I don't really want to go for a Man City attacker. Lukaku, obviously we can't afford. Calvert-Lewin was going to be good, and then he got injured. So Maximan's another interesting one. He's been decent so far, a goal and 2 assists, although he hasn't really produced huge point hauls with his attacking returns there, despite playing 90 minutes every game. I mean, he is slightly cheaper, and he's got decent fixtures: Leeds, Watford, Wolves, Spurs, Palace. I don't really trust St. Maximin to be able to keep up this form. Bamford probably looks the best. And then there is Jimenez, who's still yet to get on the board, but he's also got decent fixtures as well at that same price. He was another one we were considering. Brentford, Southampton, Newcastle is the next 3. But at the moment, I think I'm more comfortable just going for Antonio on the bench and then bringing him in game week 6 and onwards. Would Vardy be a good option? He's also one of the highest scoring forwards as well. He's generally one that goes under the radar because as a premium forward option that he's not really ever in the top 5 best premium options. Let's have a look at his fixtures. And Brighton, Burnley, Palace, United, Brentford. So he's got very good upcoming fixtures. And he generally has decent underlying stats. Once again, I think there's going to be better premium forwards than Ronaldo and Lukaku than Vardy. Thank you. Huge shout out to the Aussies and Kiwis getting their lineup tonight. Yeah, it's a late time for everyone down here, to be fair.
12 hours in front, I believe we are.
Yeah. Total points coming this game week. Here's the team lineup for this week. It is Salah on captaincy against Crystal Palace at home. Trent, Shaw, Cody, White, Raphinha, Jota, Salah, Saab, Bamford, Ronaldo. And then it's a fairly typical bench. Steer, because he looks that he could go up in price fairly soon. Sissoko at 4.5 is good. Livermento's a nice choice. And Antonio, in game week 6, it's going to be Antonio coming on for Ben White because Ben White's got Spurs. So it'd probably be something like this. That'd probably be the lineup for game week 6. Back to the 3-4-3 formation, which is probably the preferred formation. But, of course, with Antonio's injury, he is going to be sitting there.
Injury, red card.
A red card, sorry, not injury. Trent, Shaw, Semedo in my defence. Yeah, it's a very nice defence. I'm still deciding what to do with Cody and whether to switch him to Marcel or not. I mean, if Marcel can keep getting starts for Wolves, then he will be a better choice than Cody. But being a Wolves fan, I know that the rotation of Marcel should happen fairly soon because he is 32 years old and he's never really been able to string a long run of games together. I mean, at the moment, he has played 4 consecutive games, which is It's probably one of the longest runs of starts that he's been able to get. Really, with that injury. Leslie, should I risk Laporte this weekend? He didn't play. I believe it was Ake and Diaz that played in the Champions League, so I think Laporte should be good to play. So I guess, yeah, if they want the Man City clean sheet, then Laporte could be a nice choice. De Bruyne or Lukaku already got Salah, Trent, and Ronaldo. If I'm picking between De Bruyne and Lukaku, probably Lukaku. Sarr in for Traore. Maybe on a wildcard, yes. If you're just using a transfer, I'd probably hold Traore because they've got fairly similar fixtures, fairly similar stats. Sarr has just got the 1 return and Adama the 0, so they're very similar players. I think Wolves have got a better team, which can help Adama. Raphinha or Gray for Benrahma? I think Raphinha's a nice choice now with those fixtures. Jean, I need help, man. Should I take a -4 to strengthen my defence? Semedo for Ayling or Cancelo for Reguilon? Probably Semedo for Ayling because you can never confirm Cancelo's starting minutes. Although he will have more points potential than Semedo. Decent options at a 6.5 million midfielder. Keep in mind I already have Bamford and do not trust Leeds this season. I'd still go Raphinha at 6.5. I think he's a good choice. Also, Sarr at 6 is a nice pick as well. I'm thinking of getting Pepe in. Yeah, Arsenal attacking options aren't looking great at the moment. I think there's better players at Pepe's price. They've obviously got the fixtures. But I think you got to start seeing him get more consistent returns rather than just that 1 return. What do you think about getting Rudiger and James for Game Week 7? Yeah, I think if we're looking at our Game Week 7 team now, so Game Week 6, we're just going to make those changes on the bench with Antonio coming on. Game Week 7, I mean, we could probably hold Ronaldo. Game Week 7, Everton at home is a nice fixture. From a defensive standpoint, we could move on Luke Shaw and then go to a Rudiger or James. Assuming James can get more consistent, or he can consistently start essentially, as he sometimes does get rotated a bit. He's missed a couple of minutes in the first 3 weeks. Of course, because of the red card, but also got off the bench the first game. That'd probably be the transfers for Game Week 7, and then in Game Week 8 we can bring in Lukaku. And that way we'd be able to have another transfer available at all times to roll and upgrade any other injuries or changes in form that we need to fix. But then by Game Week 8, I guess the team would be something like this with Lukaku in forward line. That's probably going to be the Game Week 8 team. Obviously, we have used our wildcard now, right? So there's going to be a lot of people using their wildcards 7 and 8 where we can't use our wildcard. If we're looking at Game Week 7 and 8 wildcard teams, I feel like this team would be fairly similar to a lot of other Game Week 8 wildcard teams. People are going to have double Chelsea. They're going to have Salah. They're probably still going to have Antonio Bamford. Potentially still Raphinha as well. Livramento will always be a good choice. Cody at 4.5. White could be any other 4.5. People still have Trent. Sanchez will probably still be the keeper. So it'd be a fairly similar team to a lot of wildcard drafts. There'll be a couple of changes. Semedo plus Gallagher or Troy plus Marcel to get Lukaku up front. I go Troy and Marcel. Semedo in for Reguilon. Yeah, I think that's a nice transfer. I definitely think that's a good play. On a wild card, thinking of a front 3 of Ronaldo, Bamford and Jimenez, or dropping Jimenez to Greenwood in a 3-5-2. That's not a bad play with a 3-5-2. Obviously, it does give you less flexibility. If you're on a wild card, it could be a good chance to go for the 3-forward formation. So it just does give you more flexibility. I want to take out either Torres, Greenwood, or Benrahma. Who should I take out? Or should I keep all of them? If I get rid of any, Torres, I'm not convinced about Torres really. He's had 1 game where he's got all of his points. Otherwise, he's not been great. We're using our wildcard this week. Yeah, our wildcard is currently active. If you haven't seen the team selection, the wildcard has been activated because our team was shambolic. I think if I pull up our old team here, I think I've got a photo of it somewhere. We got very unlucky. We bought in Calvert-Lewin, and he got injured and just didn't play. So we had the forward line. It was Calvert-Lewin, Antonio, and Obafemi. So all three forwards weren't playing for game week 5. We also had double Bright in defence with Veltman and Sanchez against Leicester. And then we had other issues around the squad as well. We had a very weak bench. We had Brownhill, Amati on the bench, who were also, Amati obviously not playing, and there was Livramento that was playing as well. And we also had no Ronaldo or Lukaku, so we had to get them in somehow as well. So there was so many transfers that we had to make. And I think it was just easier to wildcard now and then try and fix the team up for the next 3 weeks and try and get the team somewhat similar to how everyone else is going to be wildcarding in game week 7 or 8. You reckon it's worth it, Tomato, to Ailing for a -4? Tomato could be good for 10 game weeks. Yeah, I definitely think it could be worth it. Should I take the hit for Raphinha after my wildcard or not? It could be worth. Yeah, it could be worth because he's got a good extent around the fixtures. Is Raphinha fit? Yeah, she will be fit to go. Would you start Duffy or Sissoko for this week? I'd start Duffy. I think I'll start Duffy. What do you think about Saka for 6.3 instead of Benrahma? I touched on this before. I'm not too convinced about the Arsenal attack. It's Saka at 6.3. I do think there is better choices at that 6 million price tag. I mean, Saka still hasn't got a return this season. He's got good fixtures. Burnley away is nice. He looked very decent against Burnley away last season, actually. He was unlucky not to get a return. It's a punt. There's no doubt it's a punt, but it definitely could come off. Should I take a -4 to get Gray or Raphinha for Benrahma? Probably Raphinha in for Benrahma. Messi or Ronaldo? That's a controversial question. Personally, I'm a Ronaldo fan. It is quite an interesting topic, to be fair. Can Arsenal get a clean sheet? I don't know, can they? Their defence is a bit dodgy. Burnley away is decent fixture. Tottenham at home is tricky. I think Brighton, Palace, Villa, it's a nice run as well. I think they've obviously made a very shaky start to the season, and I do think they will be able to recover somewhat and get themselves some clean sheets. Is it better to get a Chelsea defender now and wildcard to save the transfer later down the line? Well, if you're wildcarding now, right, you don't really have to transfer in a Chelsea defender until game week 7 or 8. Because I'm assuming you have Luke Shaw. You can probably get rid of Luke Shaw game week 7 or 8. And then just bring in the Chelsea defender then. Because you're still going to have Luke Shaw being the better option for game week 5 and 6. Unless there's other transfers that you want to make down the line, then maybe just go for the Manchester United defender, being the Chelsea defender later. I hope you get some good luck. Thanks, mate. We need it this season. We've had a bit of a stinker so far to start the season. Best luck to everyone else as well coming into game week 5. Hopefully it's a big game week. I mean, Salah against Crystal Palace at home should get some big captain points. It could be a decent average this week, I reckon. Since you're a Wolves fan, Trincao plays still safe. I'm looking for a third striker. I'm on Bamford and Ronaldo. Now looking for another striker. It's between Richarlison and Jimenez. Trincao still safe. I think he is still safe. The only one that's really challenging his place at the moment is Daniel Podence. But saying that, Trincao is playing off the right and cutting in on the left, and Bruno Lage is playing Adama on the left, and Podence normally plays on the left. So there is potential that Podence maybe, if he is coming in, then he could go onto the left and Adama goes out. I think Trincao's place will still be safe for now, though. So I'd probably prefer Jimenez over Richarlison to answer the question. Would you start Duffy or Smith Rowe? It's difficult. If you already have Sanchez in goals, maybe you can go for Smith Rowe. Lukaku in for a -4. I mean, with Tottenham and City as his next two, maybe not for a -4. Best 2-week striker. This man here is nice. 2-week striker, Newcastle, West Ham. We can have a look at some fixtures actually and go for the next 2 weeks. I mean, you could... Wolves striker, Jimenez. Brentford, Southampton could be nice. A lead striker, as I touched on, Bamford could be good. I think maybe Jimenez or Bamford is the best 2-week striker. Potentially Richarlison for 2 weeks, but it's kind of hard to say with him. I think I'm leaning towards Bamford or Jimenez for 2 weeks. Thoughts on Huang, the player that scored for Wolves? Yeah, he actually had an elite debut. I was very happy about him, and I've been watching some of the training for Wolves, and he's been looking very good in training as well. He's a physical player. He's very strong, and he looks very fast as well. So very impressed with him so far. In terms of his starting minutes, I still don't think he's going to take minutes off Jimenez because Wolves normally just go for the one striker. But he is looking very good, for sure. Currently at 200k, but play my wildcard and taking a massive punt on Aubameyang, Bamford and Jimenez. We'll get Rom in on Game Week 7. Yeah, well, he was another one. Arsenal, another team we could go for a couple of weeks punt on the wildcard. So I don't see Aubameyang for a 2-week punt. It's not a bad choice. Burnley, Spurs. It's obviously very risky. You could just go Lukaku now, but if you want to go for the punt, it's fair enough. Benrahma to Sarr or Gray. That's actually very tough. I think Sarr's got better underlying stats. I would say Sarr because I like the underlying numbers of Sarr. Gray's been very fortunate, I would say, to get 3 goals. He's had 3 shots on target this season and scored 3 goals. Cody or Marcel? That's a tricky question. We've got Cody in our team at the moment. As I'm not sure, Marcel should be starting the next couple of games, but I think after that it may be a bit of rotation with him and Ait-Nouri. And with the other transfers that I want to make, of Ronaldo out and Shaw out in Game Week 7 and 8, I don't really want to have another transfer booked in to get rid of Marcel because he's been benched. But if you don't have any future transfer plans locked in at the moment, then maybe Marcel could be a better choice. Cody's definitely got a safer position security. Bertrand for Dean and Mane to Salah for differential. Probably not worth. I mean, this Salah is just better than Mane. He's on penalties. Mane was very wasteful against Leeds, actually. Mane could have had a hat-trick against Leeds. But Salah is more clinical and he's got penalties. Benrahma or Ayling, or risk starting Tsimikas? I'm assuming you mean to start. Leeds got Newcastle, and the Leeds defence. The Leeds lineup is looking very shaky this week. I was talking to my mate who's a Leeds fan, and we were trying to pick their starting lineup with all the injuries that they got at the moment. They got no Cock, they got no Stroik, and they got no Llorente either, which means they're going to have to play either an under-21s player in centre-back or Calvin Phillips in centre-back, which is just going to take a massive hit out of their midfield. Unless they want to play Junior Firpo centre-back as well, because he did play centre-back in the past. It's not looking good for a clean sheet for Leeds, so probably Benrahma. At the minute, it's looking like Leeds could go for a 3-3-3-1 formation. It's weird. I think Fixture have also got them down to have the same predicted lineup as well. I think they've got them down for a 3-3-3-1, which is, it's not good from a defensive standpoint. Let's just say that. Should I play Reguilon or Duffy? Reguilon, Chelsea at home this week, Duffy for sure. Reguilon's probably got better attacking potential. Maybe Duffy can get himself a header from a corner. But yeah, the Leeds lineup, it's looking like Meslier, Cooper, Ayling, Phillips, centre-backs. Click Dallas, Firpo in the midfield, unless you want to go Firpo to centre-back, Phillips in midfield. Raphinha, Rodrigo, Harrison, Bamford. So they're very depleted at the back, and they're playing Ayling, who's a right back and centre back, probably Firpo who's a left back and centre back. Any 6 mil or lower midfielder, 6 mil midfielder, Sarr probably at the moment, or Traore as well. do you think betting on Almiron this week would be a good idea? Also, obviously, I just touched on how bad the Leeds defense was. If you're going for a Newcastle attacker, Saint-Maximin could have a big score this week, Saint-Maximin. I think the Leeds-Newcastle game could be very high scoring. It could be a 3-2 or 4-3. They had a 7-goal game against each other last season as well. It's generally a fairly exciting fixture, the Newcastle versus Leeds. Sanchez, Trent, Shaw, White, Allen, Bruno, Salah, Green, Raphinha, Bamford, Dennis. Should a Wildcard? I don't see the need to. I think that's a very good team. It's set up for the next couple of weeks fairly well. Unless you want to get in Ronaldo for Bruno, in which you could just take a -4. Simicast in starting 11 as he wasn't used in UCL. I don't think just because he didn't play in UCL means he's going to be in the starting 11. I think he'll still be on the bench. Raphinha injured? I don't believe so, unless there's any news about a Raphinha injury. It doesn't. I don't think Raphinha's injured actually. He should be fine. Thoughts on Ramsdale? He could be nice at 4.5. I mean, you might as well just go for White at 4.4, who is 0.1 less. I mean, Sanchez is probably I think Sanchez and White is better than Leno and Ramsdale and a Brighton defender. Because I think Sanchez should get more save points. Ronaldo and Odegaard or Vardy and Greenwood. It's tough to say with Odegaard at the moment. It's hard to tell. Vardy is not a great pick compared to Ronaldo, so I go for Ronaldo and look for another player around Odegaard's price. Raphinha injured, is it confirmed? If anyone has any news on the Raphinha injury, let me know. I'm trying to look for anything on it now. Obviously, Bielsa confirmed that Bamford was going to play with it. Raphinha was going to play. Should I take a -8 for Obafemi, Benrahma and Shaw? To Marcel, Sissoko and Bamford. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily take a -8 just to bring in a player of Sissoko who's just not going to play anyway, and you've got Obafemi who's not going to play anyway. Benrahma and Shaw are still decent picks. Sarr or Doucouré? Obviously, Doucouré's been very good. I think Sarr is probably the better choice. Doucouré's obviously the box-to-box option. Maybe Sarr's better choice. Thoughts on Townsend? He's got a screamer of a goal. I think Demarai Gray's probably the better out of the two. Ronaldo, Jota, Torres, or Trent for captain. There's a couple of decent options this week, actually. I'm probably... so you got no seller there either. Ronaldo, Jota, Torres, Trent for captain. Out of those players, maybe Trent might not be a bad pick. The report's saying that Raphinha took a knock during training. Interesting. I'll see if I can find anything on whether he's going to be out or not. Is Saint-Maximin good to have? He will be decent this week for sure. He's obviously got 3 returns already. And I think, as I said before, the Leeds defence is looking very dodgy for this week. They've got a lot of players out, so... Thoughts on Cancelo because could be rotated. Yeah, there is the potential that he gets rotated because he played in the Champions League. So it could mean that Kyle Walker plays instead of him because Kyle Walker didn't play. Region or Tierney, probably Tierney. Veltman or Alien in the lineup? Veltman, I reckon. Cayenne. Can you give me some tips on my wildcard? Sanchez, Shaw, Trent, Rudiger, Marcel, Livramento, Salah, Joe, Raphinha, Gray, Bamford, Ronaldo, Jimenez. I wouldn't make any changes to that wildcard team. I think it's a good team. Nothing wrong with that. Is Tomiyasu Newcastle signing better than Ben White? I'll have a look at Tomiyasu. I mean, Ben White is definitely more nailed for minutes than Tomiyasu. He got fairly far forward. Tomiyasu had a couple of chances. I mean, I'm happy just to get the 0.1 million more in the bank. Just go for Ben White. Ronaldo and Jota for Bruno and DCL next week for -4. I already have Lukaku playing a 3-5-2. Yeah, it's not a bad play, actually. Are you going to triple up on Chelsea Game Week 7? I'm probably looking for a double up on Chelsea. I mean, we could, in Game Week 7, we could get rid of Shaw. As I said before, we'll probably get rid of Shaw, bring in Reece James if he can still get starting minutes. Then hold Ronaldo for Game Week 7 against Everton at home. I think a lot of people will transfer him out, but I think he's still a nice pick. Everton at home's a nice fixture. And then after that, you could go Lukaku. There's not really anyone else that's screaming out too much. I mean, you could go for Mason Mount. But I think those are the two I'd probably go for. James and Lukaku, unless you want to go for the likes of Rudiger and Lukaku. Cody for Marcel. Yeah, so as I explained before, there's a couple of transfers that we want to make over the next few weeks. And at this point, being a Wolves fan, I can see Marcel getting rotated with Aït-Nouri. Not specifically in the next couple of weeks, but 3 weeks and onwards. Marcel is 32 years old and he normally gets rotated after a few starting games. So I just don't want to have to book in that transfer of having to go Marcel out because he's getting benched for Aït-Nouri. I just want to be able to have Cody in there, get the defensive starting minutes and get the clean sheets. I'm starting with Rudiger, then I'm doing Ronaldo, Shaw to Lukaku, James, Game Week 7. Yeah, fair enough. Who to drop? Jota or Torres to get Lukaku? Probably Torres. I think Torres is a slight rotation risk now with Foden and De Bruyne back. And Jota was very unlucky not to score in Game Week 4 or get any assists or anything. Gray or Sarr in a 3-4-3. Very close options. I think Sarr's probably got the better underlying stats, even though Gray's already put it on the board 3 times. I'd probably lean towards Sarr, and we have gone with Sarr in the team. Diaz, Gray, or Raphinha. A below 5.3 defender. Probably Raphinha, and then below 5.3. You can really go anyone. There's so many options. I'll probably go Raphinha, to be honest. Yeah, maybe my gut says Ronaldo will score 2. I mean, Ronaldo could score again. He's got 3 goals in 2 games. And West Ham, they're not going to have Antonio. So they're not going to have that sort of hold-up play to hold on to possession more. And they do have a slightly less recovered time than Manchester United because they did play in the Europa League fairly recently. What about captaining Trent? Yeah, it could be a good shout, actually. The Trent captain may not be bad this week if you're going for a huge differential. If he gets an assist clean sheet, then he's going to be on bonus. It just depends whether Salah outscores him or not. Who to captain, Mane or Lukaku? Mane with home advantage or Lukaku with weakened Spurs? Tough pick. I think Mane with the home advantage and the better fixture for sure. Mane should have got a lot of points last week. He's getting into good positions. I'm going to get James in 2 weeks, so please can you tell me the best 5.5 and below defender for the next 2 weeks? The next 2 weeks, I mean, Luke Shaw is looking good for the next 2 weeks. West Ham away is not bad as they don't have Antonio, and then Aston Villa at home is also decent. You could also go for Laporte potentially. He's got Southampton at home, then Chelsea. And I think he will be starting because he didn't play in the Champions League midweek. Harry Bonwell, I'm back, mate. Good to see you again. Another stream. Is this a wildcard team? Yeah, this is the wildcard team. We have hit the wildcard button, as you can see here. So this is the wildcard draft at the moment. Which defender below 5.3? I have to say Semedo at 4.9 I think is quite nice. I think probably Semedo at 4.9. You missed 2 big chances in game week 4. Is Christensen going to play? It's hard to say. I mean, Thiago Silva is now back on the side, so it's difficult to tell. I think if you're going for a Chelsea defender, it is just better to go for Rudiger. Or Reece James at the moment. We just look. Is there any news on Raphinha's developing injury? I don't believe he'll be out. I think he should still be fine. If Bielsa has said anything on Raphinha, then someone let me know. I'm trying to look for any information on it now. But if anyone does have anything on Raphinha, I'm going to get James in 2 weeks, so please consider best 5.5 below. Yeah, so as I said before, I think Shaw at 5.5 is pretty good. Or you could also go Laporte at 5.6. But I think Shaw at 5.5 is nice. What about Benrahma Brow? -4 keep. If you're gonna bring it, you could bring in Raphinha for Laporte potentially. Raphinha for Benrahma. Raphinha, Jimenez, or Bamford? Saka. I think Raphinha, Jimenez I'm leaning towards. I'm hearing rumours that Raphinha is out. There's been a bit of circulation, but I do think he should be okay. Even if he is out for game week 5, then he's still a good pick game week 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's not like if he just misses this week, all of a sudden he's a terrible option. Hopefully he should be good to play. Sanchez or Schmeichel? Tough. I think Sanchez just for the cheaper price. I've already got Marcel. Isamato still a good option. Yeah, if you want to go for the double Wolves defense, it could pay off. I mean, they've got good defensive strength. So Brentford, Southampton, Newcastle. There is potential for 3 clean sheets. Obviously, Southampton away is a difficult fixture. It is a bit risky going the double Wolves defense. But I wouldn't, just because you have Marcel doesn't make Semedo a worse option. Raphinha, Jimenez, Bamford. Saka, as I said before, Raphinha, Jimenez. You reckon Scarlett should be in a team bench or rather go with someone like Dennis who is budget? I think you just go for Scarlett and save the money. I already have Raphinha, Greenwood, Saka, Salah, Benrahma. Whom shall I remove? If I could remove anyone from the team, it would be Benrahma, but overall it's not a bad team, so I wouldn't necessarily look to move anyone on. Saiz or Semedo? I think Semedo is probably better value, even though Saiz has got very nice attacking underlying numbers. It's mainly from corners, but Semedo had some very good positioning against Watford. Who are you playing in your defence this week? The team at the moment, the defence, Sanchez, Alexander-Arnold, Shaw, Cody. That's going to be the 4 defensive players. Klopp suggesting rotation. I'd rather go Tierney instead of Semedo. I mean, it comes down to preference on which defence you think is best. Personally, I think the Wolves probably have better fixtures and better defence, but Tierney has created a lot of chances as well, which is good. I think Semedo is the best defender for first 2 weeks. Brentford and Southampton poses a lot of attacking threat. Fair. Sa and Bamford for some of the -4. Is it worth? To get rid of Son, it probably is worth, yeah, to be fair. Spending money on Ben White, I'll go for Omobamidele and spend the remaining on your team. It's not bad. I think the 0.5... Where else would you spend the 0.5? I guess, like, if you want to go from a 7.5 to an 8 mil forward, you could. From 6 to 6.5 midfielder options, there's a couple. 7 to 7.5, you could go up to Jota if you're around that price, or Greenwood. If you already have a strong enough defense, then you can just save the money by going to Omobamidele. Ailing or Brandon Williams to start? I never think I'd say this, but probably Brandon Williams. I mean, I definitely don't think Leeds will get a clean sheet. And I think Ailing will be playing in centre-back against Newcastle, so she's not going to be getting very attacking. Thoughts on Pookie? I think I'd like to see him put it on the board a bit more first. He's obviously got great upcoming fixtures. It's probably just better cheap forward options at the moment. Greenwood, Sarr or Torres? Probably Greenwood. Is Ramsdale an option for the upcoming game weeks? Yeah, for sure he's an option. You could just go Ben White for 4.4. I mean, Ramsdale is a bit more expensive, but he is definitely an option. So let me just reorder the bench. Imagine going to the game like that. But that is going to be the team line, yeah. Why is Antonio still in the squad? So we're just going to have him on the bench, game week 5, and then keep him game week 6, 7, and beyond. Because I think he's still a very good option. Even though he misses game week 5, he's still going to be a very good forward option after that. And he did score in Europa League midweek. So it's not like he's out of form or anything. He's still going to be a good option. Should I get rid of Ben Rama? It's a tough decision at the moment. I mean, Manchester United at home is a difficult fixture. And he doesn't have Antonio there to support him. So unless you want to go to Raphinha, it could be a nice transfer. But Rama to Raphinha from -4, yeah, it could be worth. Raphinha doubtful, according to Leeds fan forum. Thank you for the information. I mean, yeah, it's tough to say now with the Raphinha injury news. I'm still going to have him in the team. I mean, I don't want to get him out and then for him to play and get returns. I'm just checking Twitter at the moment to see if there's any other information on Raphinha. Yeah. I mean, even if he doesn't play game week 5, as I said, he's still going to be a good game week 6 and beyond option. Should I play Ben White or Duffy this week? I'd probably go for Ben White this week. Duffy or Brandon Williams? If you mean to start, I don't think I trust the Norwich defence enough to go over the Brighton defence, so probably Duffy. Should Sancho start? I believe Sancho. I think Sancho should be good to start. Two matches ban or a match? I'm assuming you're talking about Antonio. He's only got 1 match ban. So we'll be back game week 6. So this is the wildcard draft. Whether Raphinha plays or not. If he doesn't play, I'm happy with him in the team at the moment. Hopefully he can play. If he doesn't, he's still going to be a good pick game week 6. And we do have a bit of backup on the bench. If we wanted to play it extra safe, we could have Antonio here. Removed Jimenez. But the thing is, I would still want Antonio after Game Week 5. So I could just go to Antonio to a starting play if I wanted to offset the risk of having Raphinha in the team. I think Leeds, Brentford, Everton, Game Week 6, 7, 8, I think I want to have him in for those games. Tottenham at home is not too bad. Villa away is also not too bad. So I guess up until Game Week 10, he's still a fairly plausible option in terms of fixtures, unless he just gets injured. What is happening with Raphinha? It's a bit of injury doubt with him at the moment. I think he's just a doubtful whether he plays or not. I'll have to see. It's still up in the air for sure. Is bringing in Raphinha after a wild card worth a 4-point hit? I mean, it's not ideal taking big hits after a wild card. And maybe with this slight injury doubt, I don't know. I have Sissoko and Fornals. Who do I play? Play Fornals. Semedo or Tierney over Regon for a -4. I think Semedo. Personally, I think Semedo. Any reason you've gone for Sarr over Traore? Yeah, so Sarr, he's been able to put it on the board. He's got his first return of the season in Game Week 1. Norwich away, Newcastle at home is two good fixtures. They have very similar underlying numbers, Sarr and Traore. But I think Sarr is slightly better long term. I think he's got good fixtures about up until Game Week 11. And I mean, Traore, he didn't have the best Game Week 4, and he's just not clinical enough. He's got elite underlying numbers, but he's just not quite clinical enough. Yeah, so the reason Livramento is 4.1 is because we bought him in on the wild card. We didn't have him in previously, that's why. Son replacements already have Salah, Jota, Raphinha. Yeah, some replacements. I'm thinking you could go for Sarr at 6, could be nice. Mason Greenwood also could be a nice pick. Accidentally played a free hit. Who should I play? City players. Yeah, that's quite unlucky, not going to lie. That's not ideal. A free hit, I think you got to have triple Liverpool. Probably have some City defenders. And you could go for a Ferran Torres maybe, who potentially could start. It's hard to tell though. Kevin De Bruyne may start in the Premier League as well. So probably double or triple City, triple Liverpool for sure. A Wolves defender against Brentford. Bamford in the striker and the forward line. Ronaldo also in the forward line could be nice. And then maybe a Jimenez as the third forward. And then, yeah, you can go from there. Whether you want to go for Raphinha or Sarr. Any mid-price midfielder. Basuma or Sissoko. I think Sissoko is 0.1 cheaper, so you just go for Sissoko now. Why Jota over Greenwood? Well, now that Jota's going to be playing for the next 2 matches, Crystal Palace home, Brentford away, I definitely want him in the team for those games. And Greenwood has a fixture turn Game Week 7, whereas Jota still has on-off fixtures up until Game Week 10. Jota, simply from the eye test, looks so good in Game Week 4. Like, he could have easily had a hat-trick of assists in Game Week 4. And Sadio Mane wanted to take his chances. Why is nobody talking about Gallagher? Yeah, he's another good pick as well. It's just whether he can keep up the attacking returns. And he has got Liverpool away this week, which is a tricky match. But he was very impressive Game Week 4. And if he can keep getting returns at his price, he could be a very nice choice. No doubt. Just got to wait for better Crystal Palace fixtures, really. Also, if anyone has any other information on the Raphinha injury updates, whether it's been confirmed or not. Yes, I guess with Stones, Laporte out for City, it is probably easy to pick the defenders on the free hit. Young players like Gallagher aren't going to play good every week. Yeah, it's just the consistency for him, really. There's going to be better options around 1 million more, so it's just where they can keep the consistency, really. Shaw, Trent, Dean, Marcel, Salah, Jota, Greenwood, Trincao, Ronaldo, Jimenez, Bamford. Thoughts? Yeah, it's a very good team. It's an interesting partner going Trincao. Obviously, he's the one that not many people have. It is triple Wolves. Which I don't mind. Dean, I'm not too convinced on Everton's defence, but overall it's still a fairly solid team. This is my team. Sanchez, Ayling, Arnold, Shaw, Mount, Raphinha, Salah, Bruno, Benrahma, Tony, and Antonio. Bench, Veltman, Simicas, Parika, Steele. Any suggestions? Got 2 free transfers this week. Yes, so you could probably go Bruno and Tony out. And then go Ronaldo in. How much does that give you? You need 6 for... That's something 6. You could go a Sarr in and a Ronaldo in, potentially. Thoughts on Kovacic? Not a bad pick. I mean, he did get returns in Game Week 4, but I think there's probably better options at his price. Semedo or Cody? Definitely Semedo. If you got the money to go for Semedo, then I would go for Semedo. Thoughts on Jimenez? I know he hasn't scored, but he is now and has good fixtures. Yeah, he's just got to start scoring. I mean, he's looked a bit off recently. His touch has been off, and that's generally with Jimenez. You're watching him a lot. The first thing to go when he's out of form is his touch is off, his balance is off, and it's seen him put a lot of shots off target. He's really not been challenging the goal that much. But he has got good fixtures, and I feel like he can come good soon. Which Chelsea defender to bring in before Game Week 7, Rudiger or James? It's a tough pick, really. I think Rudiger's the safer option for starting minutes, but I think Reece James is probably the better pick. Because he should be starting for the next couple of games. He does offer more attacking potential. On Wildcard, Ramsdale, Trent, Duffy, Semedo, Salah, Jota, Gray, Raphinha, Lukaku, and Ronaldo. I can switch between Ronaldo and Lukaku in coming game weeks. Your thoughts? I wouldn't switch between Ronaldo and Lukaku in game weeks. I just have him playing all the time. I mean, the fact that you've got Salah, Lukaku, Ronaldo, and Trent in the team, it's still a fairly solid team. So yeah, right, I like it a lot. What do you think about Christensen? Will he start? I'll have a look at the predicted lineups for Chelsea. They got Christensen at a 77% chance to start. Obviously, Azpilicueta played in Champions League midweek. He could be a bit tired from that. So it could be a back 3 of Rudiger, Christensen, Thiago Silva, and then Reece James, Alonso in wing backs. So I would say he's got a fairly decent chance of starting this week. Start Duffy or Benrahma. I'd probably still go for Benrahma, assuming that you have Sanchez in goals. John, thank you. No worries, mate. Do you think James is good for further games? Obviously, Tottenham's not a bad fixture, to be honest, because they've got a couple of injuries in attack. Man City's difficult, but after that's good. So yeah, he's not a bad choice. Transfer plan up to Game Week 8. Game Week 6 Roll. Game Week 7 Ronaldo and Jota for Lukaku and Raphinha. Game Week 8 Sarr and Tierney for Cancelo, and whichever 7 to 8 mil City midfield is nailed. Yeah, not bad. Thanks, no worries. Captain, Bamford, Lukaku or Jesus in order, best to worst. Lukaku... It's difficult. Lukaku, Bamford, Jesus, maybe. It could be potential rotation for Jesus. It's hard to tell with the City team. That's why he's last. But if he plays, he'll be a good choice. Will Son start this game week? It looks like there's potential that Son might be out again. So if you I wouldn't be going for Son in the team. Do you have a league to join? Yeah, we do. It's in the description of the videos. You can just click the auto join link if you want to join our league. We've got the same exact team on Wildcard, and the difference is I've got Troy over Sar and Samet over Cody. Nice, yeah, I think this is a very nice Wildcard team. I can't fold it at the moment. Obviously, the reason you got Samet over Cody is you got the extra money in the bank. We've only got points. We haven't got a very nice team value at the minute. We've had a lot of players go down in price. Jota or Torres, who to pick? I think Jota's probably the better pick. I think Torres could be up for some rotation coming up, and I think Jota next 2 matches is nice. My team: Sanchez, Shaw, Trent, Tierney, Cody, Salah, Raphinha, Jota, Sar, Bamford, Ronaldo. Bench: Amabama, Dele, Antonio, Mendy, Steele. Thoughts? It's I'd like it. It's a good team, and you've also got Antonio on the bench to come back on as well. I like it. I think it's a good team. It's very similar to the team we've got going at the moment, actually. Sanchez or Ramsdale. It's an interesting one. I think Sanchez probably has better save potential. So maybe Sanchez. And Arsenal's defense has been a bit wobbly recently. I think Antonio will perform as he is a potential in West Ham. Many FPL managers doing a mistake by selling him. What do you think? It's not necessarily a mistake. I mean, if you're just going to wildcard in game week 7 or 8, then it's not bad to get rid of him because you can just wildcard him back in if he's playing well. Or you can just wildcard him out easily. There's good flexibility there. If you don't have a wildcard available, and if you've got decent, essentially it just comes down to whether you have decent bench depth for game week 5. If you can afford to bench him, he's definitely going to be a good pick as soon as he comes back. Game week 6 leads away. It's a great fixture. Brentford at home, good fixture. Everton away, still a good fixture. So if you've got the bench depth for game week 5, then definitely hold him. Shaw going to blank again and bring in Reece. Well, you got to return last week. I mean, West Ham away, it's not the worst fixture in the world. With no Antonio, it's not the worst fixture in the world. Torres captaincy, yeah, that's a big punt. It's a big punt. Is Jimenez worth captaining? I don't think so. I think he's just got to put it on the board first, and then we'll go from there. Red Twitter just now. Klopp says Firmino isn't back in training till next week. Well, that's good, I guess, for Jota owners, which is good for me. It's difficult trying to manage checking Twitter and doing the stream at the same time. But that is good information. Thank you for that. Who should I start for Antonio? Sissoko or Livramento? I think it's probably Sissoko because there is potential that Livramento may get minus points. And Southampton can concede a big haul of goals occasionally. How are you doing in life, mate? I guess fairly good. I'm about to finish year 12, which is nice. Just got to do some exams first, and then we're done. Livramento is versus Man City. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Livramento could get minus points this week, so I don't want to risk that. If City score like six goals or something outrageous, or 4 goals and Livramento gets a minus 1 from a yellow card or something. Is Potent's position nailed on? No, he's probably out of the team at the moment. Potence, he's on the bench. I think Trincao and Adama should hold their spots in the wing position. Lukaku is captain. Yeah, decent pick. I think Spurs' defense is a bit weak at the moment, and despite how good or bad an opposition's defense is, I think Lukaku can score against anyone. White or Ayling? I think Ben White, because the Leeds, I don't see them getting that many clean sheets over the next little bit, especially with their defensive injuries at the moment. Sarr or Damari Gray? Sarr's got better underlying numbers, that's why I've gone with him. Demarai Gray's only had 3 shots on target this season, and they've all gone in. So it's whether he can keep that up. I think Sarr may be slightly better for the underlying numbers. Are you going for a 4-4-2? Yeah, this week we are playing a 4-4-2. So if we look at the bench, so Antonio's on the bench there. He's going to come on game week 6, most likely. But at the moment, it's game week 4. So game week 5 is a 4-4-2. And then in game week 6, Antonio will just come on for Ben White, because Ben White has got Spurs in game week 6. So it's not the easiest fixture for a clean sheet. That'll be the team in game week 6, most likely. But yeah, so it's a 4-4-2 this week into a 3-4-3 next week. And then we'd probably hold that 3-4-3 formation for a while. I've got Ronaldo and Shaw at the moment with a plan to replace both Lukaku and Reece James from game week 7. Yeah, I like the transfer plan. It's good. Also, we've got over 160 people in the stream at the moment. Can we get the stream to 60 likes? That'll be class, getting it to 60 and 1 on the ratio. If you guys haven't liked the stream already and you're enjoying it, then please click the like button. Region or Benrahma? I think Benrahma's probably got more points potential. Region's not going to get a clean sheet against Chelsea. He may get an assist, but in terms of attacking returns, Benrahma's got more potential there. Thoughts on taking Cancelo out for sure to upgrade Traore to Raphinha? It's not the worst play. It's not the worst play for sure. I've got Ronaldo and Shaw at the moment with the plan. Yep, so I said that before. Captaincy on CR7. It's a punt for sure. He's got 3 goals in 2 games. A lot of people, I think Salah will definitely be the highest captain player in game week 5. There's nothing to say Ronaldo can't get himself more goals again. Duffy in or Benrahma in? Probably Benrahma. Is Raphinha fit to play? Well, we'll find out. Really, it's potential for an injury for him. It's hard to say at the minute. Really, it's hard to say. Once again, if anyone has any information on the Raphinha injury. Jimenez for 7.4 mil or Antonio. As I said before, if you've got the good bench depth, right, Antonio's probably a better pick. If you just want to bench it for game week 5 and then you bring him in after. I think Jimenez, he's still not got his first attacking returns. Alvar, you sound like such a great guy. Oh, cheers, mate. Loving the stream, bro. I think I might hold my transfer this week and double up next week. Yeah, fair enough. Thoughts on Juan Lee? Yeah, he made a great debut, so he's probably not going to get starting minutes, but he made a very nice debut and he's looked very good in training as well for the Wolves. Rumours of Raphinha hamstring injury, yeah. It's just still up in the air whether he plays or not, really. Nothing's been confirmed at the moment. Leeds will need him to play because their team is looking depleted, so I think if he's got the slightest potential of playing, I think Bielsa will want him to start. Great, Shane, thank you, mate. Thoughts on Edouard? I was looking at him and looking at his stats. Obviously, he only played for 30 minutes, but he was looking like a nice pick. If we look at Crystal Palace's fixtures, Liverpool away is difficult. Brighton at home is a good fixture. Leicester at home is a decent fixture because Leicester have underperformed so far. Arsenal's not the worst. Newcastle at home is decent. City away is probably as hard as it gets. Wolves, Burnley, Villa. It's a mixed bag. I think maybe from game week 11 or even game week 9, you could go for him there. Just tank the Man City away fixture. Wolves, Burnley, Villa is nice. The thing is, Crystal Palace just can't really string together a run of too many good games in a row, especially in the near future. So, I mean, if he can keep getting returns, it's a nice choice, but I think there's probably better forwards around his price. But a very impressive debut. That was an incredible debut. No doubt about that. How is Trent as a captain? Seriously considering him? Yeah, there's been a couple of comments about Trent captaincy, actually. I think if you can get an assist, and you'd assume Liverpool can pick up the clean sheet there, then he could potentially outscore Salah, but I think Salah could get a double attacking return. And sometimes, even if Salah gets the attacking return, he can get 11 points just for scoring one goal from the triple bonus points plus the one extra clean sheet point. So it's Raphinha and Bamford injury concerns. Now, Bamford is no longer an injury concern. He's good to play. So you don't have to worry about Bamford. It's just a concern about Raphinha. With Semedo in defence, Trincao or Traore? Probably Traore, personally. I think he's getting to more central attacking positions. Bench Antonio and Rudiger for Dennis and Cody, or shall I bench Dennis for Rudiger and just play the one up top this week? Yeah, it could be worthwhile going for Rudiger over Dennis this week. Even though he's got Spurs. They've got an injured attack and Chelsea's defence is nice. You've been watching Palace recently. Yeah, I watched them in game week 4. I prefer to watch other teams play than Palace, but yeah, when they're playing, I'll watch them. If they're the only game on at that time. That Gallagher kid looks class. I'm not sure if Edouard will start, as he has been Tech and Zara to compete with. Yeah, that's true, actually. I think it's kind of harsh not to start him after his debut, but I mean, Ayew was less than impressive, I would have said. So maybe they could shift around the formation somehow to work in Edouard there. But Gallagher, he looked class, yeah, and he could have had even more points. Lloris made a very good close range save as well. But it's just a question of consistency with Gallagher. Thanks so much, guys, for hitting the like goal of 60 likes as well. You guys did that quick. That was good. Thank you so much for that. Can't be too sure about Liverpool clean sheet this week. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's looking good. I think Liverpool and Man City have two of the highest clean sheet potentials this week. But I mean, Trent offers the good attacking threat as well. Vardy, Jesus for Antonio. I think I'd probably hold on. If you're looking for Vardy or Jesus, I'd probably just hold on to Antonio, really. If it's a 1 week punt, I think Jesus has got the fixture to do it. If he can play. He obviously played Champions League midweek. But he's got the fixture to do it. If you've still got the wildcard available, then I can see Jesus maybe going there. Cancelo looking good. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's obviously played champs, but he's looking good. He's turning into the Cancelo that we knew from last season that was getting so many points. I think he should be nailed, I guess, this week. Unless Kyle Walker comes back into the team and plays right back, and then they go Zinchenko left back and Cancelo just loses his spot. They could go Diaz. If you look at the City defence, right, it's probably Diaz, Ake, maybe Kyle Walker, and then Cancelo could be left back or Zinchenko. Maybe Cancelo left back. Jota and Bruno or Salah and Torres. I think I like Salah a lot more than Bruno. And I guess Torres against Southampton at home if he can play is nice, but I would prefer Jota in that department. I go Salah and Torres, I guess, this week because Salah's got Crystal Palace at home. Did you hear about Raphinha rumours? Yeah, we have seen a couple of rumours about Raphinha's injury. There's nothing really we can do at the moment, like too much about it, because it's just rumours, right? And he is carrying a slight injury, I'm assuming, but whether that's enough to keep him out of the game, I'm not sure. Maybe just worth holding on to him, because you don't want to transfer him out and then he plays and gets returned, right? Do you think Saka will get more points this round? He's got the fixture to do it. Burnley away is nice. I mean, Arsenal, they've got a win on the board now against Norwich, so maybe they can start stringing together some good form. I think I just like to see him put some returns on the board, to be honest. Wildcard this week, Sanchez, Dean, Arnold, White, Livramento. I mean, I'm assuming you're saying Livramento there. Salah, Gallagher, Raphinha, and Grealish with Ronaldo and Lukaku up front. Switching Ronaldo to De Bruyne in a week or two. I mean, opinions. I like it. Yeah, the triple premium it's risky, but it can definitely come off for sure. Marcel or Cody, either one's good. We've gone with Cody just because he's got higher chance of playing every week, and we've got a couple of transfers that we want to book in down the line. Thoughts on changing up and going for a premium keeper? I'm looking at Mendy just to get a nailed on Chelsea defender. I think you just go for Rudiger if you're looking at a nailed on Chelsea defender, because I'm not a huge fan of going above 4.5 on keepers, unless it was Martinez last season, whose price rose fairly quickly. Do you also play FPL Draft? I don't play FPL Draft. I originally started doing it, but I just haven't looked at it since. I think I had like pick 8 in round 1, and everyone else got all the premium options, and I was left with that one. So kind of gave up after round 1 of the draft, to be honest. Torres or Greenwood? I think I'd lean towards Greenwood because I'm not sure about Torres' minutes. That's the only thing with him. Dennis for Bamford or Benrahma for Raphinha? I think I'd go Bamford in just because of the slight concern about Raphinha at the moment. We are going to look to end the stream fairly soon, so if you guys have any other questions that we can't respond to in the chat, then you can just message us on Instagram and Twitter. Any comment in Rudiger James as Chelsea defence for long term? For long term, Rudiger's probably better because he's going to have better starting potential. Does this wildcard sound good for this week? Sanchez, Semedo, Trent, Shaw, Gray, Greenwood, Salah, Raphinha, Grealish, Bamford to CR7. Yeah, I like it. Should I transfer Benrahma for Traore? Maybe hold on to Benrahma because I'm not sure if Traore can significantly outscore Benrahma. Is Raphinha good to play? He's obviously got the injury. I think with the amount of Leeds injuries at the moment, if he's got any chance of playing, Bielsa will 100% want him to start. So I think he. I don't know. I don't really want to make a call on it, to be honest, because I could be wrong. I hope Raphinha plays because I got him in the team. Diaz or Cancelo? Probably Diaz, just because Cancelo may potentially get benched this week. Let's get the likes of 75. Yeah, why not? Before the stream ends, can we get 75 likes? We're close. There's over 160 people watching. We just need 8 more to hit the like button and get it 75. Keep Antonio on the bench or swap him for Jimenez. Alternatively, have Ayling and or Dennis on bench. I'll just bench Antonio. The team looks fairly strong. Okay, guys, so that's going to be all the questions that we answered today. Thank you so much for everyone that tuned into the stream. And thank you so much for helping us hit all the like goals. It's been awesome. If you guys enjoyed the stream, once again, give it a like if you haven't done so. And best of luck for Game Week 5. And with that being said, I'll see you guys